Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm the Doc Bob Lee, and our next guest is a UFT Vice President and Director of Staff for the United Federation of Teachers. He joins us today to speak about his organization's efforts to address food insecurity in our city through an initiative known as We Feed NYC, and to highlight the fundraiser behind it, too. So please welcome to the show, my man, Anthony Harmon. Anthony, how are you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Bob, feeling good. And thanks so much for having me on today.
Tell us a little bit about UFT, because you've been there for a while, but you've been in education for a long time also.
Yeah, in education for about 30 years now, and working here at the United Federation of Teachers, but I want to say about the last 15, 16 years, and in some capacity or the other. I'm currently serving as a director of staff for the organization. A little bit of background about who we are. So the United Federation of Teachers is the union that represents those non-administrative titles within the Department of Education. So we represent teachers and school paraprofessionals and secretaries in the schools, and occupational therapists, physical therapists, people of that sort, non-administrative titles within the Department of Education. So currently we have about 80,000 teachers. We have about 200,000 members total. That's both active and retiree. They, as I said, they represent, all the non-administrative titles. So we don't have assistant principals or any one of those titles within the union. So we have a strong history of standing up and speaking out, for issues that pertain to the educational system. I often tell people that our working conditions are the kids' learning conditions. So we're equally concerned about, our students as we are about our own economic stability, well-being, and so forth. So,
and of course, Michael Mulgrew is your president of the UFT. Thank you for all that you guys are doing in the community. I mean, I know, because you reach out to me from time to time and you say, hey, we want to do this. Can you participate? Now you have a new initiative that you're working on. How did you come up with it, and what's it all about?
Thanks so much for that question, Bob. And as you know, we have a big history of being real partners, or trying to be real partners with the communities that we serve. So at the beginning of this pandemic, we saw the issue of food and food insecurity becoming more and more of an issue. As we went into this remote world and students working from getting their education at home, we had to keep the schools open to continue to provide meals for children. And as the summer progressed, and we saw more and more and more that food insecurity was a big issue throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. And it's not just people that are at the lower economics, end of the spectrum. We saw middle-class people now all of a sudden, having difficulty making ends meet. Folks that, were suffering from unemployment and underemployment, right? We saw people that had full-time jobs, now they're going to part-time. So the economic conditions became worse and worse. So the president, our president, Michael Mulgrew, had this idea, and he challenged us to come up with some ways. What could we do to help? What could we do to help aid the children that we serve and the communities and that these children come from? And again, this is across all 5 boroughs, Bob. So one of the things that we did, came up with this idea, this campaign, We Feed NYC. Initially, it started as a virtual fundraiser that we plan on hosting on February 13. That's February 13 from 12 noon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're asking people to give to We Feed NYC, and they can do that by going to a website. It's give.uft.org. That's give, give.uft.org. And on that website, we plan on hosting, talent from our kids, to highlight the talent from our students, that are, really doing some phenomenal work, despite the challenges of being remote. So we have like band and kids choruses singing and so forth, or whatever, that we want to highlight and we want to show folk. We also have a chef that's going to be coming on, and he's going to teach people, how do you make that dollar stretch, and how do you prepare a meal and feed a family of 4 for under $20, right? And he's gotten on board. We have a recording artist that's donated some time to, and he's gonna dedicate a song, to the project. We've asked, celebrities like yourself, Bob, to come on and to help us to generate some real
Yeah.
some real buzz about this issue of food insecurity in our city. And we want to dispel that myth that it's only the homeless population that that's suffering from this. This is a problem across the city.
Yeah.
So that was our culminating activity. But then we saw, again, our president, to his credit, when they shut down the restaurants and there was no more indoor dining, it, again, challenged us as the leadership of the organization, asking, what can we do to help?
Mhm.
So we reached out to some restaurants that we would normally do business with, right? And said, hey, we want to help. We realized that there's a shutdown of the indoor dining process, but what could we do to assist you? Could we possibly look at maybe purchasing some meals from you? And then we also reached out to community-based organizations, faith-based institutions that we could think of, that we worked with in the past, and that we've seen, these lines of folk just waiting to get, something from the food pantry, because of course the soup kitchens have shut down now because of the
Yeah.
whole COVID, and they can't do the distance, social distancing and so forth. So
Yeah.
the soup kitchens are shutting down, but the food pantries were still open. So we just took those two needs and said, what could we do to be the bridge to bring these these two issues together? So we reached out to the restaurants rather, because we did it in all 5 boroughs. And
Yeah.
we asked if they could, what could they do a meal for $6-7 a pop or whatever, right? That we could then get those meals delivered to these churches and community-based organizations throughout the 5 boroughs. Our goal was to provide 1,000 meals
Uh-huh.
per week for 4 weeks in each of the 5 boroughs. So totaling 20,000 meals was our goal. And what could we do to provide 20,000 meals to the folk of New York City?
So if more restaurants want to get involved, or just people in general want to get involved, what do they have to do?
So there's 2 ways to get involved. They can reach out to us, through this initiative. Again, that website, give.uft.org. That's give.uft.org. And they can reach out that way, or they can reach out and call us directly, here at the UFT. I'll be more than happy to talk to anyone that would want to participate in the project or to get involved. My email address is A as in Apple, Harmon, Harmon, at uft.org. That's A Harmon, Harmon, at uft.org.
Yeah, so restaurants can get involved, and sponsors, if sponsors want to get involved and contribute funds, they can also do that.
Absolutely, Bob. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if people want to go to that website, we already started the initiative. Our goal is to raise $250,000 by February 13th. And I will tell you, Bob, we have about $90,000 that's already committed, to
That's
the
great.
initiative. So we're well on our way. Hopefully, we will get that $250,000 mark by February 13th or immediately thereafter. But we're asking people, to give, and corporate sponsors can give $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever people can give $5, $10, $20. No,
Sounds like we started the fundraiser right now. You want to shout out some of those people who contributed?
Sure. I mean, Emblem Health has contributed. Cigna Health Plan has contributed. We've got some other organizations. I think one of the churches stepped up and said that they would, donate, and they would sponsor, and they would participate. Church of the Heavenly Rest. People are just coming like out of the woodwork, and they're saying, I don't have 100, but I have 50. I can give 25, and that's how we, somebody said, how do you
Large or small?
one bite at a time, right? Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So they go to the website for all of this?
Mm-hmm.
What's that
Go to the website
again?
for all of it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Give me the website again.
So it's give.uft.org. O-R-G.
There you go. UFT Vice President and Director of Staff for the United Federation of Teachers, Anthony Harmon. Anthony, thank you so much.
And Bob, thank you so much for allowing us to present today.
Well, looking forward to working with you. All right. It's
Likewise,
needed.
likewise.
People are hungry and you guys are right there to help out with everything.
And
God bless you.
And it's a real human need, Bob.
Okay. Thank you. UFT, Anthony Harmon, coming out in a big way. Woo! We love you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Stay blessed. And we'll catch you another day, another way. We've got, Bobby C has the latest in sports coming up next right here on Open.